Good day, everyone. Today, I want to discuss something that is often misunderstood when people evaluate emerging technology companies. The valuation of RiskReady OS is not expected to be driven solely by software. If software were the only asset, then RR-OS would simply be another platform competing for subscriptions in an increasingly crowded market. That is not what we are building. The valuation thesis behind RiskReady OS is based on 6 value drivers that have historically created significant enterprise value across software, financial technology, and artificial intelligence companies. Those drivers are recurring revenue, distribution, proprietary data, intellectual property, network effects, and decision infrastructure. What makes this important is that each of these drivers compounds the others. More distribution creates more users. More users create more data. More data improves intelligence. Better intelligence improves outcomes. Better outcomes increase adoption. And increased adoption strengthens recurring revenue and network effects. Our objective is not merely to build software. Our objective is to build a business intelligence ecosystem that becomes increasingly valuable as it grows. Now let's look at where RiskReady OS exists today. Today, RiskReady OS should be viewed as a pre-revenue capital readiness infrastructure platform. Even at this stage, there are already meaningful assets inside the ecosystem. We have the fundability score, underwriting readiness, documentation integrity, banking relationship ratings, the consultant framework, the certification framework, and the distributed impression network infrastructure. These are not concepts. These are foundational assets that establish the framework for future growth. Because the platform is still in its early stages, valuation discussions today are primarily based on intellectual property, market opportunity, platform architecture, and future scalability. That places the current valuation discussion in the approximately $1 to $5 million range. This is where many successful technology companies begin. Investors are not buying current revenue. They are buying the infrastructure and the opportunity. The next major valuation increase occurs when RR-OS evolves from a readiness platform into an intelligence platform. This is where the story becomes significantly more interesting. The addition of advanced intelligence engines transforms RR-OS from a capital readiness platform into a business intelligence system. Instead of simply evaluating readiness, the platform begins helping businesses make better decisions. The predictive return on investment intelligence engine evaluates expected outcomes. The capital utilization intelligence engine helps determine where to deploy capital. The business momentum engine evaluates the growth trajectory. The capital efficiency engine evaluates the productivity of deployed capital. The enterprise value intelligence engine focuses on business valuation. And the structural alpha engine identifies the drivers of sustainable outperformance. Collectively, these engines move RR-OS from software into decision infrastructure. And markets consistently assign higher valuations to infrastructure than they do to tools. That transition moves the valuation discussion into the $15 to $25 million range. The next question becomes simple. What happens when we combine intelligence with recurring revenue and distribution? 100 Tier 4 consultants change the platform's economics. At this level, RR-OS begins generating approximately $100,000 per month in recurring subscription revenue. That equates to approximately $1.2 million annually before considering referrals, marketplace activity, certifications, or other ecosystem revenue. But revenue is only part of the equation. Each consultant becomes a distribution node. Each consultant brings business relationships. Each consultant generates platform activity. Each consultant contributes data. Each consultant increases market validation. What emerges is the beginning of a network, and networks are typically valued differently from standalone software products. This is why the valuation discussion can move from approximately $15 to $25 million to the $20 to $100 million range. Not because of software, because of recurring revenue, distribution, and network creation. Now let's take the next step. This is where the vision becomes significantly larger. Imagine 500 consultants, thousands of businesses, millions of business data points, years of operational outcomes, years of funding outcomes, years of underwriting outcomes, years of business performance trends. At that point, RR-OS is no longer merely a software platform. It becomes a structural artificial intelligence network. The value no longer comes from the software itself. The value comes from the intelligence generated by the network. And that is why valuations can reach $100 million to $500 million or more. Because the system becomes increasingly intelligent as participation increases. To understand this opportunity, let's compare RR-OS to another category of artificial intelligence. Most people are familiar with the use of artificial intelligence in financial markets. Artificial intelligence analyzes stocks. Artificial intelligence analyzes bonds. Artificial intelligence analyzes commodities. Artificial intelligence evaluates risk and return. The objective is simple: determine where capital should be deployed. RiskReady OS applies the same principle to businesses. Instead of evaluating securities, RR-OS evaluates enterprises. Instead of asking which stock to purchase, RR-OS asks which business decision to make. That distinction is critical because the similarities are actually remarkable. Trading intelligence focuses on financial assets. RiskReady OS focuses on business assets. Trading intelligence evaluates risk-adjusted returns. RiskReady OS evaluates business-adjusted returns. Trading intelligence attempts to optimize portfolios. RiskReady OS attempts to optimize enterprises. Both are fundamentally decision support systems. The difference is simply the environment in which the intelligence operates. Wall Street has financial intelligence. RR-OS seeks to create business outcome intelligence. Let's look deeper into what advanced trading intelligence actually does. Contrary to popular belief, advanced trading systems do not simply predict stock prices. They evaluate probabilities. They evaluate expected value. They evaluate downside risk. They evaluate allocation strategies. They evaluate volatility. They evaluate opportunity cost. Most importantly, they evaluate where capital is most likely to generate a superior outcome. That is precisely the framework RR-OS seeks to apply to businesses. Now let's translate that framework into the business world. Businesses face allocation decisions every day. Should capital be deployed into marketing, hiring, technology, equipment, expansion, debt reduction, acquisitions? Most business owners make these decisions using experience and intuition. RR-OS seeks to add structured intelligence to that process. The goal is not to replace decision makers. The goal is to improve decision quality. And improved decisions ultimately lead to improved outcomes. This brings us to the first intelligence engine. This engine asks one of the most important questions in business. If we deploy resources into a specific initiative, what is the likely outcome? What is the expected return? What is the probability of success? What is the downside risk? What is the projected impact on enterprise value? This engine moves decision-making from opinion toward structured analysis. And that creates tremendous value for business owners, consultants, and capital providers. The next engine focuses on capital deployment itself. Receiving capital is not the same as using capital effectively. Many businesses receive funding. Far fewer deploy funding efficiently. This engine focuses on identifying where capital should be allocated to maximize return while minimizing risk. The objective is simple: help businesses deploy capital more intelligently. And better capital allocation generally leads to stronger outcomes. The next engine evaluates something that every successful business eventually develops: momentum. Business performance is not static. Companies are either gaining momentum or losing momentum. Revenue growth creates momentum. Customer retention creates momentum. Operational improvements create momentum. Market adoption creates momentum. The business momentum engine is designed to measure these signals and determine whether a company is strengthening or weakening over time. This matters because lenders, investors, and advisors often care less about where a company is today and more about where it is heading. Momentum can become an early indicator of future success. The next engine may become one of the most valuable components of the platform. In the investment world, alpha represents outperformance. It is the ability to generate results beyond expectations. The structural alpha engine asks a different question. Why do certain businesses consistently outperform others? What structural characteristics create superior results? Is it management, documentation, capital efficiency, operational discipline, governance, market positioning? The goal is to identify the hidden drivers that separate average businesses from exceptional businesses. If RR-OS can consistently identify those patterns, the platform's value increases dramatically because it becomes capable of identifying and replicating success. Now let's examine capital efficiency. Capital is one of the most valuable resources inside any business. But capital is only valuable when it is productive. The capital efficiency engine evaluates how effectively resources are converted into growth, profitability, enterprise value, and long-term sustainability. It seeks to identify waste. It seeks to identify inefficiencies. And it seeks to identify opportunities where the same dollar can produce greater results. Businesses that use capital efficiently typically grow faster, attract more confidence, and generate greater value. This engine helps measure that discipline. The next engine focuses directly on enterprise value itself. Most business owners know their revenue. Many know their profits. Few understand their enterprise value. This engine focuses on the factors that increase or decrease business valuation. It examines the drivers that make businesses more attractive to lenders, investors, acquirers, and strategic partners. The objective is straightforward. Help companies become more valuable over time. Because if RR-OS can consistently help businesses increase enterprise value, then RR-OS itself becomes increasingly valuable. Now let's bring all of this together. Wall Street uses intelligence to optimize financial assets. RiskReady OS seeks to optimize business assets. Wall Street evaluates stocks, bonds, options, and portfolios. RR-OS evaluates structure, capital readiness, operations, growth opportunities, and enterprise value. Both systems attempt to answer the same fundamental question: what decision creates the best outcome? The difference is simply the environment in which that intelligence is applied. This is why we often refer to RR-OS as business outcome intelligence. Let's simplify that comparison even further. Trading artificial intelligence helps investors determine where to invest their money. RiskReady OS helps businesses determine how to deploy capital. Trading AI optimizes portfolios. RiskReady OS optimizes enterprises. Trading AI seeks superior financial returns. RiskReady OS seeks superior business outcomes. That distinction is important because it helps define the category we are building. We are not building another software tool. We are building decision infrastructure. And that leads us to what may be the most important slide in the entire presentation. The greatest driver of valuation is not software. It is not consultants. It is not even recurring revenue. The greatest driver of valuation is the compounding effect created by continuous improvement in intelligence. More consultants create more business interactions. More interactions create more data. More data improves predictions. Better predictions improve outcomes. Better outcomes attract more users. More users generate more data, and the cycle repeats. This creates a self-improving intelligence network. That compounding effect is what has historically driven some of the most valuable technology companies in the world. This is the vision behind everything we are building.
Wall Street has financial intelligence. RiskReady OS seeks to create business outcome intelligence. Wall Street focuses on optimizing assets. RiskReady OS focuses on optimizing enterprises. Millions of businesses make critical decisions every day regarding growth, capital, risk, operations, hiring, expansion, and valuation. Most do so without sophisticated decision infrastructure. RiskReady OS seeks to change that. Our vision is to help businesses make better decisions, create stronger outcomes, and build more valuable enterprises. Which brings us to the internal leadership message. The team should understand that the future value of RR-OS is not dependent on any single feature. It depends on the interaction of multiple valuation drivers: recurring revenue, distribution, proprietary data, network effects, intellectual property, artificial intelligence, decision infrastructure. The advanced intelligence engines accelerate all 6 drivers simultaneously. That is why they matter. They move RR-OS beyond readiness and toward intelligence, beyond intelligence and toward infrastructure, beyond infrastructure and toward long-term enterprise value. And this is the final takeaway. The most important point in this presentation is that the largest valuation increases do not come solely from adding more consultants. The progression begins with software, then recurring revenue, then the distribution, then proprietary data, then intelligence, then the network effects, then a self-improving business intelligence ecosystem. That progression is what moves valuation discussions from millions to potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. Every consultant added strengthens distribution. Every subscriber strengthens recurring revenue. Every interaction strengthens the data set. Every data set strengthens intelligence. Every intelligence improvement strengthens outcomes. And every improved outcome strengthens enterprise value. That is the valuation architecture of RiskReady OS. RiskReady OS is not being designed to become another software company. It is being designed to become capital readiness infrastructure for small and mid-sized businesses. It is being designed to become business outcome intelligence. And ultimately, it is being designed to become a self-improving decision infrastructure platform capable of creating significant long-term enterprise value. Thank you.